أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون. It was just the whole session about the concept of dhikr. Remember me, I will remember you, and thank me, never be ungrateful. We highlighted the concept of dhikr. We made some kind of analogy from our daily life, how important, and we highlighted the concept of as-sunan al-kawniyya, the universal laws. فاذكروني أذكركم ومن يتق الله يجعل له مخرجا ومن يتوكل على الله فهو حسبه. This is part of the universal laws, which means the things that Allah has created as the laws in which control the relation between us and Him, including فاذكروني أذكركم. If you want Allah to remember you, which means, remember you means to be of someone that have a status. Status of having a shield, protection, blessings, whatever. Just name it, okay? You need to be, by the first place, have already decided to give Allah status in your program. Because Allah says, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُم. If you want this, do this. We highlighted this last time, and we connected this with the concept of shukr. And we talked about mentioning Allah in your heart, mentioning Allah by your tongue, then mentioning Allah by being thankful practically. This last time. Today, يا أيها الذين 153. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. One verse today, we will be dealing with three concepts. As Allah commanded us in the previous ayah, أذكر, you will be, remember me and I will remember you. Now, استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة. جزاك الله خير. الله يكرمك الله يسعدك. جزاك الله خير. شكرا جزيلا. Thank you. بارك الله فيكم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله. صلى الله لا يحرمنا من النعم يا رب. يا الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. All believers, seek comfort in patience and prayer. Allah is truly with those who are patient. Now, what I will be doing today, inshallah, I will be highlighting what do we mean by patience. What is the definition of patience? Number one. Okay? Why Allah started with patience, then with salah? Because it might come to the mind of someone, but I need to pray so that I can have patience to be patient. No, Allah started with patience. So what is patience? What is the relation between patience and prayer, as-salah? What brings what? Okay? Type. And today, as I told you, subhanAllah, while I'm preparing, sometimes it depends on my need. I found as well Sheikh al-Sa'di, Tafsir al-Sa'di, from those who did the best clarification for our need, yani the most simple, let's say, statements. So I will be reading literally part of his words, Tafsir al-Sa'di. قال أمر الله تعالى المؤمنين بالاستعانة على أمورهم الدينية والدنيوية بالصبر والصلاة. He said, فالصبر هو. Now he's giving us the definition of صبر. What is صبر? قال تعريف الصبر هو حبس النفس وكفها عما تكره. This is the definition. حبس النفس كفها عما تكره. To restrict, to control yourself from everything yourself hates. This is sabr. By default, we hate to do something we are not enjoying it. Do we love to do something we don't enjoy? No. We do it for other reasons. By the way, do we love to work anything unless if we are need to work, or otherwise we will not eat? If it's up to them, by the way, to know to make it simple, to know what does it mean, habsun nafs, to restrict, to control yourself, okay, against anything that the self hates. This is the general definition. To know this, go back to your childhood. If you do not remember your childhood, try to see your son or your daughter. This is the normal nature without restrictions. If you left the child to do whatever he or she wants, basically, he will spend 24/7 doing what? Playing. طيب, if we left the matter of studying for the children, who will study? No one. Because simply, by default, the self hates to be restricted to sit on a book, while by default, we had just to play, to laugh. طيب. Food. What is much more delicious? Healthy food or sweets? Ask any child, would you like to keep eating 24/7 sweets, yes or no? يقول لك definitely yes. Yes, طبعا. طب how much, power you need to restrict your child to stop him from eating a lot of sweets? This is, I'm just giving you a simple example about the meaning of حبس النفس وكفها عما تكره, to restrict yourself against what the self hates. He continues, قال فهو ثلاثة أقسام. Now he's explaining, this is the general definition of sabr. And there is a 3 levels or 3 parts of sabr. قال صبرها على طاعة الله حتى تؤديها وعن معصية الله حتى تتركها وعلى أقدار الله المؤلمة فلا تتسخطها. So we have 3 levels of, or 3 parts, different parts, not levels. So the 3 different parts, not levels. قال ثلاثة أقسام. Part A, Part B, Part C, so that when you be patient, you need to be doing the 3. It depends on your status now, either or. Number 1, قال صبرها على طاعة الله حتى تؤديها. To have patience on the fact that completing and doing the worship or the ta'ah or the obedience or fulfilling the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Generally speaking, let's very quickly, if it's up to us to decide to pray or not, who will pray? If it's up to us, which is not haram to leave prayer, how many of us will leave prayer? Don't answer emotionally, answer logically. If it's up to you not to pray, which means Allah gave you the option, who will pray? No one. No one. Why should I leave the bed in the very cold winter to go to the wudu with a very cold water and to leave the house? Why should I? If it's up to me, what is more delicious? Warm pillow and bed or cold water walking in the snow?
No.
If it's up to you. If it's up to you. I'm just giving you the concept of examples. What does it mean? قال صبرها على الطاعة حتى تؤديها. What is more beautiful, appealing, pleasant to the self? To be hungry, i.e. fasting, or to eat when you feel hungry? Definitely not to stay hungry. Definitely. Any of us loves hunger? No. Actually, when you feel hungry, you want to eat. So you need patience to keep restricting, controlling yourself till you do what? تأدية الطاعة حتى على الطاعة حتى تؤديها. When you smell while you are hungry, patience. طيب, men, I'm sorry for لا حياء في العلم. What is more pleasing and pleasant for us? To look at beautiful women or not? Definitely. Actually, why 99% of men, by default, they go to porno sites? Why? Because it's more beautiful for us. It's more pleasant. How do we control us? Because of halal and haram. Not because of our feelings. Be careful. Be careful. We don't stop it because we hate it. No. We stop it because Allah commanded us that it's haram. We do it because of the divine law. As many things, for example, youth, if you have a red Ferrari, red specific, okay? Not any Ferrari, red Ferrari. Okay. If you are driving in the highway, what is much more really happiness to you, to drive below 100 or above 150? Wallah, 200 and above. You know the adrenaline? Just to see other cars like this. This is the beauty. But you will not, because of the law or because of your father, will take the car from you. It depends. Especially if you know that you will be caught. If you know for sure you will not be caught, you don't care. That's why we need to believe in the existence and the observation of Allah. Anyway, my point, I'm still explaining the concept. What does it mean? Part number 1 from sabr is قال الصبر على طاعة الله حتى يؤديها. To have patience to do the worship till you finish it. Going to Hajj, is it pleasant to the heart? If it's up to you. Who on earth will spend a few thousands of dollars to go to the desert, to stay there and to round out around, place? Who? Why? Why should you? What is the pleasant thing in it? Ta'ah. You need patience. You are fulfilling a commandment. You are not enjoying yourself. By the way, some people will say, wait, Sheikh, where is the beauty of Iman? Allah yahdik. Say, I'm talking about the bottom line now. After doing for the sake of Allah, a new gift will come to give you the power. This is another case. I'm speaking bluntly now, speaking on the bottom line at the beginning. The one, if it's up to you, are you going to do it? No. If it's up to you, would you like to go to, for example, to Los Angeles beaches, or you guys like to go to the desert of Mecca? If it's up to you. And it's very clear. So when you go there, بواد غير ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم. Subhanallah. Anyway, this is the meaning of صبرها على طاعة الله حتى تؤتي. قال وعن معصية الله حتى تتركها. Part of our tests الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. It's Allah who created life and death so that He will put you into trial. We are in a test. So please don't forget this reality. We are in a test. In the test, you have special restrictions. Imagine now, in this simple example of a test. In the test, you don't use your cell phone. In the test, you don't go but with observation to the washroom. In the test, you are not allowed to speak with one next to you. In the test, you are not allowed. In the test, you are, many things. Once the test is finished, go and enjoy your life outside. وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. Our big test hall is the dunya. Once you've done your test, and the beauty of this test is what? We know the questions and the answers. It's amazing. We know the questions and the answer. من ربك؟ ما دينك؟ ما تقول في هذا الرجل الذي بعث فيكم? Who's your Lord? The believer? Allah. I've done it 2 million times in my life. 10 million times, so nothing new. But we're the one who decided to reject Allah. Man Rabbuk? Because he decided to take other gods besides God. Literally, not metaphorically. Literally, for him, the God was something else. His God was al-hakim, or ruler, or the president of his country. كان بلطجي, سحيج, شبيح. You know this terminology? Literally, some of them, they worship them. Because the meaning of ta'ah is what? Full obedience. Full obedience for anything, you will be what? A worshipper. تعس عبد الدينار, تعس عبد الدرهم. Prophet Muhammad called, he said, woe unto thee. He is the loser, the worshipper of the dinar. Does this mean he was doing sujood for the dinar? He is what? Obeying the commandments of, regardless how the dinar is coming, the point, I will bring the money. طيب haram, halal, through bribe, killing, human traffic, drugs, cheating, I don't care. I want the money. This is the meaning of ibadatul money, to worship the money. Okay? And قال وتعس عبد الخميصة. He is the loser, the worshipper of the fashion. Do we have people they worship the fashion? Habibi. Ya Habibi. Ya Habibi. By the way, especially in the female side, do we have sisters who worship the fashion? Oh my God. It's one of really biggest, tests for us. Especially, it's the fashion. الفاشن بتقول سحل بسحل، الفاشن بتقول احلق بحلق، الفاشن بتقول ارقص برقص، الفاشن بتقول هز بهز. Yeah, the fashion. Anyway, the point وعن معصية الله حتى part of the test to be patient, to control yourself against the sin till you leave it, or not to commit it from the very beginning. Because part of the test, most, not all, of the ma'asi, the sins, they are easy and, you would love to do them. Are you with me? Having, for example, let's very, very quickly, have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Nice ولا مش nice? Seriously, nice ولا مش nice? Nice, طبعا nice. واللي بيحكي غير هيك, there's something wrong inside him. والله, it's by default nice, or otherwise why people marry each other? Why do we have marriage? Or otherwise, it's nice. But we have restrictions, against this. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His hikmah, if you just left yourself to do whatever, it will be a sin because it will be a destructive attitude. Like, for example, imagine, what is more easier? Whenever you are hungry, you eat. Is it easier? Or you don't eat unless you go through a lot of restrictions? Which is easier? You just eat. But if you eat whenever you are hungry, you might eat bad food. Filthy, dirty food. Stolen food. If you accept, خلاص, I'm hungry. Okay, I will eat. You will steal a food from the restaurant. You will be a thief. Because you don't restrict yourself. Okay, this is not your food. I don't care. I want to eat. This is a childish way. If it is with willpower, this is a criminal. This is a crime. Because I decided not to have sabr. This is not my food. So I'm not allowed to have it. How can I have it? If you are very poor, go and ask permission. Normally, go and work, bring money, buy food. This is if we are discussing the money. طيب. Sometimes the food is dirty because everyone touches it. Disgusting. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. So we have levels of أحكام الشرعية. That's why. يا شيخ, طب how come why do you want to be patient? Allah created me in a way I'm attracted to the other sex. I'm a male or female. Habibi, who told you the fact that you are attracted, you have to have a friendship because you are attracted? Not every friendship is healthy. Not everything that we said. Not everything you find it is clean. Not everything is allowed and not everything is yours. This food is not yours. This food is filthy dirty. This food will be yours if you went through the legal channel. Buy it from the owner. The same thing. I'm attracted. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. There is something called engagement and marriage. Otherwise, everything else is haram. The same thing. But I'm hungry. طيب Habib, you have illegal ways to eat. You are not allowed to eat just because you are hungry. The same thing. I'm just making simple the idea. Because I'm discussing the صبر عن المعصية حتى تتركها. Don't use the excuse. But Allah created me. Yes, salam. No way. Look at yourself now under the Canadian law. How many things you can't do it because of the law? If someone did something bad against you and you can't prove it, and you want to reply back, you will count to 100. My word could be classified as racism, hate speech. I might get fired from my work. End result, smile, thank you, sir, and you leave. How many times you do it? Seriously. Because of what? Natural consequences of the law. Subhanallah. Even though in theory, is it possible that you can escape with it? If you did it, is it possible? No CCTV cameras. You are in charge of the place. You can delete the recordings. You have many other ways. Easily you will do it. طيب. Is there a possibility of the CCTV cameras of Allah will be deleted? That's why the importance of believing in the attributes of Allah. This is the importance of Al-Alim, Al-Sami', Al-Basir. So when we say الصبر عن المعصية حتى تتركها, we're explaining what يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر. Now we are discussing the parts of صبر. صبر على الطاعة, صبر عن المعصية. قال وعلى أقدار الله المؤلمة فلا تتسخطها النفس. To be patient on the decisions of Allah against your will in your life, and you don't feel angry. And I need to stop here now. I need to stop here. To accept with full satisfaction, رضا, what Allah has ordained, which could come against your what? Will and your wish. فَلَا تَتَسَخَّطُهَا, and don't feel angry. Why me, Ya Allah? Wallahi, I will highlight to you two quick incidents. Once I was explaining, you know, I'm basically, my original job is I'm an associate professor in the University of Jordan, the Faculty of Sharia and the Department of Faith and Religions, Department of Faith. So part of the basic courses we teach for first year, we teach, we call it faith, like physics 101, we have faith 101, the basics. Part of the basics, how to get into Islam and how you get out of Islam. You need to know كيف تدخل وكيف تخرج. Because sometimes we have مخرجات من الإسلام. قال أقوال واعتقادات وأفعال. Sometimes a faith that you adopt will cause you to be outside of the fold of religion. Sometimes some certain sayings, if you utter them knowingly, understanding what you are saying, will cause you to what? To be out of Islam. And sometimes actions. For example, if you adopted the idea that Allah does not know something, or Allah is weak, or Allah could be angry and crying because he cannot do something or whatever, this is a faith of what? Kufr. It will take you outside of Islam. طيب. If you said a bad word, committing blasphemy, they called it. التجذيف على الله. To swear against Allah. When you have especially the youth. This is applicable on the youth in some Arab countries. When they feel angry, they say كذا كذا. They do a bad word against Allah. كذا كذا رب. كذا كذا deen. You say, such and such. And very bad word against Allah or the prophets or the religion. This is called, in the classical English language, committing blasphemy. Committing blasphemy, takfir يعني بكفر, we say in Arabic. He will leave Islam. Okay, anyway, I was explaining these concepts from academic point of view for the first year in Sharia. One of the sisters, she was sitting with me from my students, she said, Wallahi ya Doctor, just few days ago, I witnessed one of the sisters. It was a big test actually, it's not an easy test. I think she's been married for 12 or 13 years without having kids. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decided to test her with more than 10 years, no kids. 10 years of marriage, no kids. It's not easy, very difficult, very difficult. Anyway, after 12, 13 years, she had her first baby. He was, I think, just few months, passed away. Big test. She said, I witnessed her shouting, screaming, in the gathering of the condolence, عزاء. She was screaming and looking to the heavens. ما عنده أم يحس معي؟ ما عنده أم؟ She lost her mind. She was saying, this God does not have a mother to feel with me? Allah. This is, most likely she lost her conscience, wallahu alam. But in theory, if she knew what she was saying, she's committing kufr. This is an example about what? عدم التسخط على أقدار الله. I'm giving you example about the meaning of sabr. Are you with me? عدم التسخط, which means don't feel angry. Why me? Why Allah? Wait, hey. That's, you need to know the concept that this is dar ibtila. It's a house of test and trial. Al-Hisab, they are part of to accept. Alhamdulillah, you lost your father, la hawla wa la quwwata illa, passed away. Another example, who is our first teacher? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just for those who do not know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost 2 of his wives, 3 of his daughters, 3 of his sons, while in his life. He buried them. Khadija radiallahu anha, and I forget, I think Maymuna, I forgot, one of his wives, she passed away before he passed away sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and 3 daughters, Ruqayya, Umm Kulthum, wa Zainab, they passed away before his death sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Ibrahim, wal Qasim, who's the third one? Abdullah, jazakumullah khair. Now, and the most famous hadith that we know, إِنَّ الْعَيْنَ لَتَدْمَعُ وَإِنَّ this is the sahih hadith, best in my memory. إِنَّ الْقَلْبَ لَيَحْزَنُ. When he was about to put his son in the grave, his tears came out of his eyes. This is the natural human feelings. And he said, إِنَّ الْعَيْنَ لَتَدْمَعُ وَإِنَّ الْقَلْبَ لَيَحْزَنُ وإنا على فراقك يا إبراهيم لمحزونون ولكن لا نقول إلا ما يرضي ربنا إن لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Now the Sahaba witnessed him. He was crying. He said, yes, eyes, they do have tears. Hearts does have, the sorrow. And really, I feel sorry for the fact that you left me, O Abraham, but his son. But لكن I will not say, I will not declare my status, okay? What I will bring now, forget my feelings. قال إن لله, to Allah we belong, وإنا إليه راجعون, and to Him we will return back. He's teaching us. He buried all of those people, and we have many, many, many examples. The other example, I know one of my students, I taught him at school. When he was young, I think he was grade 9 or something like 8, I forgot. This story, I taught him about 33 years ago. About 8, 9 years later, he came to my house, knocking the door. He was crying, and he was screaming and shouting, committing blasphemy against Allah in my face. He considered me the representative of Allah for him. He was very angry from Allah. He came to my house to swear at Allah in my face. You know why? He loved a girl, and it happened by the consent of Allah. This girl loves someone else. Now, the funny story that this girl does not know about him. And she is elder than him and taller than him. And I know both of them. For God's sake. He was crying, say, why he did not respond to me? Why he's living everything in the universe except me? بالعربي بحكي لكم ليش مش لاقي غيري? He did not find anyone to cause this kind of disaster except me. For him, Allah left everything in the universe, and he intentionally wanted just to destroy his life. Wallahi, literally he said it. طبعا he was crying and shouting against Allah, crying, committing blasphemies. And can you imagine the people, neighbors, they are listening on my door. Boom, 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 boom. For him, I am the representative of Allah. He wanted. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. This is, I'm giving you this example about التسخط على أقدار الله. For him to be satisfied, as if he's suggesting that Allah should have sent Jibreel and to take her from her hairs like this and to put it next to him. Take her. This is yours by the will of Allah. then he will be satisfied and will say, okay, Allah, good. Otherwise, Allah is bad. Have you, by the way, wallahi, through my journey, I witnessed practically, meaning hundreds like those people, very childish when they deal with Allah. Very childish, very superficial, very naive. Khalas. For him, the good thing is this: if it does not happen like him, like the spoiled child, exactly. Otherwise, Allah is not good. Sheikh, Allah no good. But why Allah no good, Sheikh? He did not respond to me. I prayed, he did not. So Allah is no good. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That's why we need knowledge. We need to understand the hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we need to understand the classification of the qadr. In Surah, I said it many times, I repeat it very quickly. Allah, when He sent Musa alayhi salam to be taught by Al-Khadr alayhi salam, both of them are prophets, Allah was sending a message not to Musa, but in the Quran, Musa has already passed away 4,500 years ago. After the Quran, who is supposed to be taught from the Quran? Muslims, believers. Class number one, category number one from the will, the decision, the qadr, the fate of Allah. You see something seems to be bad or evil, in a while you will discover it is what? Good. Category number one, the ship had a hole. Have you done so? Just in a few minutes or hours, وَكَانَ وَرَاءَهُمْ مَلِكٌ يَأْخُذُ كُلَّ سَفِينَةٍ غَصْبًا. They were saved from the tyrant king. So we witnessed the beginning and the end. I thought it bad, I discovered it's what? Good type. This is the easiest, the most simple, the direct, and all of us we wish to have it. But it's not the case. We have another two categories. Category number two. فَلَقِيَ غُلَامًا فَقَتَلَهُ. He killed the boy. Now, in our simple language, the boy passed away. The mother at her home did not witness anything. The only thing she knew that her child was killed or passed away. She kept on crying. قال فأردنا أن يبدلهما ربهما خيرا منه زكاة وأقرب رحمة. Look, a man and a woman, husband and wife, who are very good. They have a child. The child passed away. They did not know who, when, why, but he passed away. The mother and the father, they kept making dua for their child. They had another child who became a very righteous person. They lived, alhamdulillah, with peace. They have no idea that this one was taken, and if he stayed alive, he will turn their life into hell. And they passed away knowing nothing. But Allah is telling us about if something happened, this category to be comprehended needs what? Trust in the wisdom of Allah. I'm talking about tasakhut ala aqdar Allah now. I'm explaining sabr. I'm explaining patience now. You need to trust. Khalas, I lost my child. Ya Allah, okay, ammi, he is dead. The law of Allah says once he is dead, no returning back. Close the file, say Alhamdulillah. No, why Allah has done this on me? Lost your case. Number two. Number three. Number three is the most sophisticated, unbelievable, most applicable on us. Look, try to picture this. Try. Two kids. They are not mature yet. They have done nothing to deserve any kind of blessings or reward. Sleeping at home. In another place, few, maybe tens of meters, hundreds of meters. Two prophets are digging, fixing a wall, contains a treasure. This treasure was reserved as a gift and blessings for their father, who is in his grave, passed away. The father is dead. The kids know nothing. They have done nothing to deserve anything. Yet, for the sake of the dead person, Allah sent two prophets. working to fix a wall. No one knows about it. And maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, they will discover, in our language, coincidentally, a treasure. Coincidentally? Habibi, it is part of the will of Allah long time ago. This is your rizq. Was preserved for you there. It's not, you know, how clever I was. حبي clever. ميلة تميلني أنا. You know ميلة تميلني? Who can translate ميلة تميلني? Wallahi, who can translate it? Challenge. I'll pay $5. Who can translate ميلة تميلني? By the way, Arabs, who understand it أصلا? Yes? Anyway, you see, this category, by the way, this category is the most applicable on us. Hundreds and tens and thousands of incidents around us, they are all the time, ups and downs. Allah is part of His very sophisticated plan for every one of us. One say, but how come? You tell me how come when you go to Google searching engine, just when you press a key, searching key, a word, in a second, Google searching engine gives you 18 million results for your search. How? You tell me. How did the Google engine browsing system managed to bring 18 million results or 20 million results out of billions in half a second? How? Who knows how? You can't comprehend. وهذا human beings. But how does Allah work this? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brother, can we leave the questions to the end, malish? So it's not to open, so not to forget, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. This is what I mean. I'm just explaining the third category of what? Sabr. Now, we say, قال والصبر على أقدار الله المؤلمة فلا تتسخطها, which means the self will not feel angry when Allah ordains something if it goes against my will. Now, we review the three parts of sabr. By having them all, I will be sabr. Number one, الصبر على طاعة, to be patient while doing the commandments, the amr of Allah. You know, الصبر عن المعصية, to be patient while preventing yourself from the sin, the haram. And by the way, if someone says something, for example, your parents, is it possible one of your parents might be very tough with you without any valid reason? Is it possible? طبعا ممكن جدا يعني. Your father might be a very tough person. He might really insult you without any valid reason. Does this hurt you or not? Normally, if there is no halal and haram, what is the normal reaction? خد حقك بدراعك, صح؟ بكلمة صح ولا لا؟ بالlogical, materialistic, mathematical way of thinking. If my father insulted me, what should I do? I will insult him. طب هذا, now it is not just haram, it is what? One of the biggest haram in Islam. Major sin. Kabira. Oh my God. Kabira. But he has done, okay, he deserves to be punished by Allah, not by you. Not your job. Be humble, respect. But he is bad. I know, you have no right to reply back. No right. Does this need patience or not? Some of the mothers, are they مستفزات at home or not? شوفوا كم واحد عم بيضحك. You know, nagging, washing something, pray. صليتي جليتي حسبي الله على هالخلفة. حسبي الله لو خلفت قردوا ساعدين وما خلفتكم. حسبي. You know, this kind of all the time provoking, very provoking. Is it possible? طيب, if it's up to you, Miss Female, if it's up to you and there is no haram, how many ways and power of being able to reply you have? بنات اليوم غير حسبي الله ما بقول. They can do a lot of things. طب what should stop them from replying back? Haram. Do they have the ability? Yes. Do they have the materialistic justification? Yes. Because they were insulted. They were provoked. Yes. But في عندنا ايش؟ حكم شرعي. Discussing patience. صبروا على الطاعة والصبر عن المعصية. قال والصبر على أقدار الله فلا نتسخطها. We be patient when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordains something. Now this is the explanation of the meaning, the definition of sabr, patience, and the parts of sabr. He continues قال فالصبر هو المعونة العظيمة على كل أمر فلا سبيل لغير الصابر أن يدرك مطلوبه. Now part of what he said قال, I will read very quickly part of what he said, then I will conclude in general. قال how many of you understand Arabic? Please raise up your hands. طيب okay, about 50%. قال فالصبر هو المعونة العظيمة على كل أمر فلا سبيل لغير الصابر أن يدرك مطلوبه خصوصا الطاعات الشاقة المستمرة. He's highlighting that you really need patience, especially the very, very hard, difficult worships, like 5 times prayer. Is it easy? You want to enjoy having lunch, especially in the winter now. Okay, lunch. Go enjoy lunch with your colleagues at work. You have very limited time. Dhuhr, Asr, 2 hours between them. Yeah. Plan. If you have a very important meeting with your CEO and you need to have lunch, do you consider or not? Yes. Sometimes you do the meeting inside the restaurant in a special room for half an hour, then you come back and enjoy lunch. No problem. No problem. Do we do it or not? But yeah, عمي الصلاة restrictions. One of the things I used to say, especially for my female students at the university, in the Arab world, maybe I did not witness it here, the concern of females in the makeup at the morning when they go to the university is more than amazing. It's beyond imagination. I mean, each student, university female, comes to the university as if she's going to a wedding party. In terms of the very, very extreme makeup they put. طيب. Practically, starting from when they wake up, they clean and wash their hairs, time. Then they dry, time. Then started, time. The average, I'm not expert, but the average, it could take between half an hour to 2 hours and a half. It depends on Miss Queen of Beauty. It depends. If you want to discuss the Fajr prayer, Allahu Akbar ala haddin ya Sheikh. Where is the mercy of Allah? Why Allah? Okay. طيب, the average of Fajr prayer from the time of when the alarm goes on up to when you finish the Fajr prayer, the average, how many minutes? طب you need 5 minutes to wake up, 10 minutes to wake up, 5 minutes in the washroom, 10 minutes, يلعن الشيطان. 5 minutes to 10 minutes to pray. Max half an hour. Average 15 minutes. For some people 7 minutes. والله 10 to 15 minutes كل الفجر prayer, الحمام والصلاة وسلامتك والميك up. Average 1 hour and a half. طب how on earth you are able to justify for yourself that you can save and spare a time of average 1 hour and a half to clean your hair and to make your makeup before going to the university? I'm not discussing the haram and halal now. I'm discussing the time. I'm discussing the effort, but I'm not discussing haram and halal, okay? I'm discussing Fajr prayer is very difficult, Sheikh. But what about the makeup? And by the way, many of them, they finish the makeup even before the sunrise because they need to catch the bus. يعني, طب subhanallah, if it's difficult, look now to the Western world who are very committed to their work. In the winter, How many millions they are in the street before the sunrise with about 1 hour and a half? Millions of people. But if you want to say Fajr prayer, Allahu Akbar, ya akhi, why Islam is difficult? Practically, we decided to give a value for bringing the money more than Allah, even though Allah is the one who gives you the barakah of the money. This is why we need to review the system of value. You got my point? Practically, we are doing this. We are doing this for other things. Why not do it for Allah, which is less problematic? طيب. قال وإن رده المكروه والمشقة عن الصبر والملازمة عليها ولم يدرك شيئا وحصل على الحرمان. وكذلك then he continues المعصية التي تشتد دواعي النفس ونوازعها إليها وهي في محل قدرة العبد لا يمكن تركها إلا بصبر عظيم وكف لدواعي قلبه ونوازعها لله تعالى واستعانة بالله على العصمة منها فإنها من الفتن الكبار. Now he's giving more details about what he called المعصية التي تشتد دواعي النفس إليها. What is the level of our need to the sabr as a tool, as a way, as a practice to control ourselves against sins that really we love to do. While I was praying, I put quick examples. For example, صحبة, شلة. Your friends. الشلة شو بترجموها هنا باللغة الشعبية؟ الشلة. لا شلة الصحبة. gang. والله slang language gang بيقولوا. my gang يعني شلتي. اوكي والله جديدة علي هاي. friend group. اوكي friend group الجانجز هذولا. really تخيل يعني everyone has a شلة is a gangster. too much صح؟ anyway البوينت بالله عليكم, is it or not one of the most beloved things to yourself to be with your you know the group of your close friends? How beautiful it is. Close friends, very close friends. One of the most happiest times because they are very close. You share everything. Your secrets are there. You laugh together. You make jokes together. Beautiful or not? طيب. If you discover that those shilla, this group, this friend, this gang, they are the reason for your corrupted heart and your corrupted deen. What you are supposed to do? First step. Yes. هاي الأخت من وراء الغزال قالت لي هيك. شو يعني؟ لا مش هيك. هي ما قالتش كده, هي قالت كده. This is changing of the meaning. What does this mean? Cut your relation. خلاص, finished. طيب, is it difficult? It's very difficult, not just difficult, very difficult. Because your life revolves around them. And everything you do, هاي اسمع, تطلعوا, يلا نتعشى, يلا نتغدى, يلا نفطر. All the time they are part of your life. By the way, they are much more closer to your heart than your parents and your family. So when you, but they are the main cause that you are smoking. They are the main cause that you are having drugs. They are the main reason for the fact that you have, you know, haram relations with other sex. They are the main reason that you started having bad porno sites. They are طب عمي, to start fixing your problem, you have to cut your relation with them. Do you need sabr? طبعا. You will be lonely at the beginning. You will this happen. That's why we need the sabr. Now قال وكذلك البلاء الشاق خصوصا إن استمر. He continues السعدي. فهذا تضعف معه القوى النفسانية والجسدية ويوجد مقتضاها وهو التسخط وإن لم يقاومها صاحبها بالصبر والتوكل واللجوء والافتقار على هذا الأمر. He says, now he's highlighting the أقدار الله قال المستمرة. Like for example, someone has cancer. You know, not all cancers, like sometimes, for example, liver cancer, you don't feel it. You will be told you have 4 months and you will die, and that's it. طيب اللوكيميا, bone cancer, jaw cancer, gum cancer, pain, even all kind of drugs will not be able to control the pain. So, and it could take years. As Allah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. If we are tested, for example, if someone was burned, you know, the first degree, second degree, third degree, sometimes you lose your skin completely for months. So, أسأل الله العافية يا رب. But if any of us is facing, it's not just being patient for a week. For example, one of the most common things that we suffer, the headache. I personally, I have migraine, I myself. And when the headache starts, the average of pain that I have is 8 hours. Sometimes 12, sometimes 16, sometimes 24 hours when it starts. Wallahi, sometimes the only way that I can reduce the pain that I start hitting the wall with my, like this. And sometimes I just go in the streets, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., just walking in the streets, doing anything like a crazy man, just not to think about the pain after having the medication. Subhanallah, which is 12 hours, it could happen twice a month, 3 times a month. When it's released, subhanallah, one of the khair of the pain, once the pain is finished, you will feel everything in this dunya is ni'mah. Everything. You will enjoy everything. Everything will be part of your blessings. That's why there is hikmah behind the pain. To appreciate what? The ni'mah. And to feel with others. Anyway, the one who's suffering from the pain for years, it's not easy. And that's why really you need the faith and you need the sabr, which is built on the faith. By the way, sabr, which is controlling that we are giving, it's not something separated, just hanged somewhere. It is based on the rule or on the base of what? Iman. Why I'm controlling and preventing? Why? Because I believe that it's part of the test of Allah. And I believe I will be rewarded. And I believe there is a complete happiness in the Jannah or otherwise. Why? If you were told that, for example, if you do not speak, for example, you have a pain in one of your organs, regardless what is it, and you were told if you kept silent for 5 hours, the pain will disappear. Staying silent 5 hours is not easy. It's not easy. But because you know you will be recovered, you will do it. خلاص. Some people come to stay. Hey, كيف حالك? Hey, how are you? Why are you not speaking? Is there anything wrong with you? Hey, speak with me. The condition, if you spoke, you will have pain. طب I'll provoke you. You are afraid of me. That's why you don't want to speak. You are idiot. You are stupid. Can you reply? I don't care. Everything is silly for me. I need just to get rid of the pain. Why? Because I trusted the source who told me that I will be recovered. Otherwise, the person who's talking with me, I will cut him into pieces. This is an Arabic translation, okay? هقطعه حتت. Okay? This is Arabic translation. طيب. Unless you and I believe that Allah has promised the sabirin, the patience, with the reward, why should I be patient? That's why you need the faith. This is a tool of gaining ajr. Exactly like, for example, now you have a pain, you were told to recover from the pain, don't eat such and such sweets. But I love the sweets, don't eat them. When you have the antibiotic, by the way, whether you are part of the medical field or not, is there any antibiotic on earth, once you take it, in seconds you will be recovered? It takes what? Days, not even hours. Days. That's why sometimes 7 days, sometimes 10 days. It depends. It depends on where is the infection. So, you take it. The smell is not good. The taste is not good. And you don't see the results. So why you do it? Su'al. Because you trust. You trust who? The source, which is field of medicine. طيب, logically, is it possible doctors are lying? Is it possible pharmaceutical world are lying? Is it possible just to sell their products they make lies even though the efficiency of the medication is nothing? This is theoretical thing, okay? Yet we have what? Full trust in a possible lying human beings. I'm discussing antibiotic now. Subhanallah. We trust doctors when they tell us, do this and such, you will recover. Hadar doctor. If you just come, why do you trust him? Ya ammi, he has a, mashallah, big degree. I saw it. He's from Cambridge, from Harvard. What is the possibility that he's lying? What's the possibility he was drunk when he gave it to you? Logically speaking. Yet, full trust. I believe in science. This is not science, Habibi. It is you are trusting something you believe in. This has nothing to do with science. You trust. This is exactly what we call in our terminology what? Iman. The difference between you and us, I mean by you, anyone who does not believe in Allah, he trusts in everything and we trust in Allah, the source of everything. As Mr. Khalil, if you know it, you know, that's it. You got my point? This is Iman. So you need to trust Allah and you will build the concept of patience on the concept of trust. Now, he continues, inshallah, in a few minutes I'll finish. Now, let me finish with this. Some people, they say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we said the ayah, استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة. Okay? Now the sabr is a tool that is needed most of the time and will help you to solve many problems. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to have the sabr much more than the salah. By the way, it's my understanding. Why sabr before the salah? Sabr is based on Iman. Salah is based on Iman as well. If you don't believe in Allah, what should make you stand here and do this kind of strange movements? Why? By the way, if there is no Iman, Salah is a very strange, funny movement. Wallahi. True or false? You believe because you believe. And by the way, do we or have we decided how to pray by ourselves, or we were told how to pray? We were told because we believed. True or false? Type. Now, prayer, which means Salah al-Ta'rifiyya, the terminology for prayer. Because prayer in English means, because the word prayer is used for supplications, dua, and it's used for the terminology which is the actual ritual prayer. Salah اللي فيها ركعات وسجود. Okay? So now, you pray, let's say 5 times. In this 5 times, and if you gathered all the conditions that you need, which is called hudur al-qalb, the presence of the heart, you will benefit a lot of fuel, spiritual fuel. You do it 5 times a day. Sabr is a continuous attitude in your heart 24/7 for many things apart from the salah. You need sabr تغض البصر. You need sabr against, for example, provoking of your parents. You need sabr to control yourself against the bad people. You need all the time you need, because you have 3 what? Parts. على الطاعة, عن المعصية, على أقدار الله. Look, now these 3 things, they cover much more to your life than just the prayer. Prayer is a simple part. That's why Allah started with what? The most expanded needed thing. Then he came to the, which is part of it. Because salah is part of as-sabr ala ta'atillah. It's part. While the sabr is needed for 3 big categories. That's what you need here. You need to be patient on this and that and that. Salah is just simple part of it. That's why Allah started with patience. And let me finish with this, inshallah. Because I decided not, inshallah, around 45 to 50 minutes, inshallah. طب يا شيخ، طب Patience, how can I be? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said in a hadith Hasan. Hadith Hasan means highly accepted, just one step will be sahih, which is from the authentic. قال إنما العلم بالتعلم وإنما الحلم بالتحلم. Verily indeed, having knowledge or acquiring knowledge is by learning, which means, Sheikh, I want to be someone of knowledge. Okay, yalla, what shall I do? What shall I do? Process of learning. It's not just swallowing a pill of knowledge. I have knowledge. La habibi. We say in Jordanian language, I don't know if you can explain it. بدك تتخزق عيون اللي خلفك وانت بتدرس. You know يعني تتخزق عيون اللي خلفك? It's untranslatable. Untranslatable. يعني you because literally يعني you will pay a very very great efforts to achieve the knowledge. You need to study stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, 4, to sit for exams, to read books, to have interviews, to have a degree which reflects really that the fact, the reality that really you have a knowledge. إنما العلم بالتعلم. Prophet Muhammad said. طب my point is وإنما الحلم بالتحلم. To be halim means it's one of the highest levels of patience. Not just patient. Halim. Halim is the one who anyone does any bad thing with him will be in the highest moral attitude of patience with him. Ya habibi. How can I acquire this? Bittahallum. Do you know, in our humble language, what does it mean? Train yourself. Control yourself. Force yourself. Exactly, I prove it to you. Guys, brothers, how many of you, especially the youth, would love to have a bodybuilding, very beautiful shaped body with the triceps, biceps, so six packs, you know, this thing. How do they come? Training for years. Protein, eating, with iron, smell of sweating, you know, every day 6 hours. What? Just to have a biceps, triceps. Shortcut to work like this. 5, 6, 7 years just to have a nice shape of his body. 6 years. But what is the great benefits? When the beautiful girls come, oh, nice, wow, this is the best. إنما الحلم بالتحلم. You want to be in the highest level of patience? Train yourself, force yourself. طب practically tell me what to do. I will give you the secrets. Train yourself on the simple incidents. Take a decision. By the way, the solution starts with the decision. Decision. Take a decision. I want to be a patient person. Type, I'm very nervous person. I can't control my anger. Now, step number 1. I have to do it for the sake of Allah. Number 2, I need to train myself. Number 3, how to train myself? Simply, any incident that provokes your nerves from the simple things, take a decision. How? For example, to stop doing anything or saying anything, instead replace it with immediately say subhanallah, 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 subhanallah 10 times, then think what to do. This kind of anger will disappear, for example. Do it with these simple things that really makes you angry, but in this simple level. Like for example, you love to eat your food very hot. For whatever reason, you were served not a hot meal. Normally, you become very angry, you do things. But this is from the mild things that makes you angry, not the big things. Okay, it come to you, control it. Subhanallah, 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 subhanallah. Nothing happened. Khalas. Or say to your mother or to your sister, Salam alaikum, thank you very much. Very nice. Now you are training yourself how to break this kind of anger. You are training. Once you've done it, you will feel the beauty of overcoming your weakness. Next time you'll do it much easier. It's exact like when you started doing any sports, any kind of sport. You want to run, you want to walk. For example, you want to have heavy lifts. The first few days will be the most difficult. Next week easier. Next week easier. Then you will enjoying growing your muscles. That's it. It's a time of just growing the muscles. At the beginning, very difficult. Then decide the level you want to run for 10 kilometers, 5 kilometers. This is your decision. You keep training yourself, and that's it. The same thing is the sabr with anything. Take simple things, train them, find the beauty, go next. I know someone, he told me, this person, he used to be very, very tough with his mother. He said when he heard these meanings, he decided to change himself and his life with his mother. One of the things that he said in a few months after taking a decision, he said, I was like a popcorn, you know popcorn, like this. When whatever his mother says, he used to explode in her face. Anything, all the time. Doing the major sin, which is عقوق الوالدين, disrespecting the parents. He said in a few months after taking the decision, controlling myself, controlling for the sake of Allah, he managed to go and apologize from his mother after she had started a fight with him, and she is in charge of the problem. Yet he used to be patient, controlling himself, smiling in her face, and he goes and gave her a hug, Samhini Yamma, even though she started the problem. Few months, not years, months. Average 4 or 5 months. But working hard in a very tough way. If you want to do it, you can do it. I was planning to talk about sabr and salah. At least we highlighted what? Sabr. Patience. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. See you next week inshallah. To talk about salah now. And the relation between salah and sabr. بإذن الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.